So, have you ever wondered what an appraiser is actually looking for when they walk through your front door with that clipboard and camera? It can feel a little mysterious, maybe even a bit stressful. Well, today we're going to pull back that curtain. We're breaking down the entire home appraisal process, start to finish, so you can see exactly what it's all about. I mean, really think about it for a second. A home is so much more than just bricks and mortar, right? It's where memories are made. So, how in the world does someone take all of that and boil it down to a single specific dollar amount? That's the real question, and the answer is this fascinating blend of boots on the ground detective work and some serious data analysis. All right, let's dive right in. The very first piece of the puzzle is that on site visit. It helps to think of the appraiser as a kind of property detective. They're showing up at the scene, your house, to gather facts and clues. And a key thing to remember is that their job is to document the property, not to judge your housekeeping or your taste in art. And you'll see they have a very methodical system. It's not just a casual stroll. First, they're going to measure everything to confirm the exact square footage and sketch out the floor plan. Then they assess the overall condition, inside and out, and we'll get into what that really means in a sec. After that, they take note of all the features and any upgrades you've made. And finally, they analyze the plot of land itself and its location in the neighborhood. So, when an appraiser talks about condition, you can totally forget about that pile of laundry or the dust bunnies under the couch. They are looking at the big stuff, the core components of the house. We're talking about the health of the foundation and the roof, the state of the major systems like your heating and cooling, and the quality of those key areas like the kitchen and bathrooms. They're really checking the bones of the house. But gathering all those clues inside the house, that's really only half the battle. A huge, and I mean huge, part of an appraiser's job happens back at the office, digging into data. Because a house doesn't exist in a bubble, right? Its value is totally connected to the community and the market around it. And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most important concept in appraising a home: comparable sales, or what everyone in the business just calls comps. This is the bedrock of the whole valuation. Appraisers come through real estate listings and public records to find homes that have sold recently right there in your area that are as similar to your house as humanly possible. This creates the baseline for figuring out the value. And here's a peek at how they actually use those comps. It's not as simple as just averaging the prices. It's all about making adjustments. So look here, if a comp sold for $510,000, but it has an extra half bath that your house doesn't, the appraiser might subtract, say, $5,000 from its price. Or if another comp is in worse condition than your house, they'll add value to its sale price. The whole goal is to make each of these other houses look as much like your property as possible on paper. That's how they narrow in on a realistic value range. And on top of comparing specific houses, the appraiser also has to take the temperature of the local market. Are homes in the neighborhood flying off the market? Are prices trending up? Or are they starting to dip? This context is absolutely critical, because the very same house can be worth something totally different in a super hot market compared to a cooling one. Okay, so after all that on-site detective work is done and all the data has been crunched back at the office, everything gets pulled together into one official document, the final written appraisal report. This is the whole shebang, the evidence and the conclusion all in one place. And inside that report, you're going to find everything we've been talking about. There'll be a super detailed description of the property, info about the lot it sits on, that all-important grid showing the comms and adjustments, and of course, photos, maps, and sketches. And it all leads to the final page, the appraiser's certified professional opinion of what your home is worth on a very specific date. The whole thing is designed to be transparent and easy to defend. All right, let's get down to the question I know is on everyone's mind. With all of these different pieces in play, what actually matters most? What are the things that truly move the needle on that final number? And what are the things you probably shouldn't lose sleep over? Let's break it down. And here it is. This should be a huge sigh of relief for just about everybody. Appraisers are literally trained to see past your personal stuff. They look right through the everyday clutter, the family photos, and your unique design choices. But they're zeroed in on are the permanent, functional parts of the home, the structural integrity, a layout that makes sense, and the major systems. So a messy kids' room doesn't matter, but a leaky roof that points to a bigger problem, yeah, that definitely does. This right here is probably the most important thing to remember. The entire process is built to be objective, and for a good reason. This report isn't just for you. It's often for a lender, a buyer. There are a lot of stakeholders. It has to be an unbiased, expert opinion on the property itself, totally separate from the people who happen to live there. It's about the asset, not about your taste. And that leads us to our final and maybe most crucial thought. An appraisal is not a permanent price tag that's been etched into stone. Think of it more like a snapshot in time. It's a professional's opinion of what your property was worth on one particular day under very specific market conditions. And as we all know, the market is always changing. So hopefully the next time an appraiser comes to your door, you'll have a much clearer picture of what they're doing, just solving a really interesting puzzle to find your home's place in the market.